What kind of company is Lumon, really? Why are its computers so old and primitive? Why are there only 4 employees? And seriously, what exactly is the job they're doing? Choosing numbers? Really? Everything seems meaningless. Or maybe we're just looking at the surface.
That one makes no sense.
So now, let's go one layer deeper. To somewhere darker. Somewhere that feels a lot like our own mind. Have you ever felt like there's a part of you that goes to work and dies? Not metaphorically. Literally. This is not just a sci-fi story. It's a metaphor. A metaphor for grief, trauma, the architecture of the unconscious, and how we deal with unbearable pain. What if your workplace isn't a company, but your mind? Let's start from here. Imagine that the company, Lumon Industries, is not a real place, but a symbol. What if it's not about the job, but about being inside the psyche of someone who's grieving? And what if that person is Mark?
But I am so sorry. I created you as a prisoner and as an escape.
The split, entering the unconscious. Mark undergoes the severance procedure, separating his work self, the innie, from his outside self, the outie. But what if this severance isn't just science fiction? What if it's what happens when trauma breaks you? You fragment. You isolate the pain. You bury it. The innie becomes a trapped part, the inner child, the forgotten memory, the dissociated trauma. And the outie? The conscious adult. In denial. This isn't just corporate dystopia. It's a descent into the unconscious mind. Lumon as the unconscious, architecture of the psyche. Now look at Lumon again.
My job is to scroll through this spreadsheet and look for numbers that are scary.
Old computers with green screens, not modern but symbolic. These machines feel like Jungian archetypes, like dusty relics from a deeper, older layer of the mind. Random number sorting? It's not about data. It's intuition. A surreal way of confronting feelings you can't name. Fear, anger, despair. You feel them. And then you banish them. The labyrinthine hallways, classic subconscious symbolism.
They were scary. The numbers were scary.
You're not navigating an office. You're inside a dream, inside trauma, inside repression.
Hello.
Hi.
Even the elevator is symbolic, moving up and down from consciousness to unconsciousness, but never integrated. You forget everything every time, but the pain stays. Frozen emotion marks psychological numbness. At the start, Mark isn't grieving. He's frozen. After losing his wife, Mark doesn't face the pain. He splits himself. He chooses to forget. This is psychological freezing, a real defense mechanism. When suffering is too much, we shut down. His innie doesn't know the loss, but he feels it. He wakes up every day in pain and doesn't know why. That's trauma. Pain without context. Sadness without memory. The other selves, fractured aspects of a psyche. Every character at Lumon represents a different piece of the psyche. Helly is the rebel. The living, fiery, inner voice that refuses to be repressed. She fights. She screams. She resists because the mind wants to heal. Irving is ritual and loyalty. The part of us that clings to order, even if it hurts. But even he starts to crack as dreams of black goo and hidden hallways emerge.
I do think the old photos are supposed to stay on the desk until the new ones come in.
Dylan is the inner child, playful, curious, but desperate for connection. When he learns he has a son, it breaks the illusion.
100% is tier 5. That gets you a caricature portrait. You'll note I've accrued an embarrassment of wealth in that regard.
Wow.
Emotion pierces the numbness. Each of them is a dream figure, a symptom, a clue. Ms. Casey Gemma, the heart of the trauma. Then there's Ms. Casey, a wellness monitor, with no empathy, But she's not just another employee. She is Mark's wife, Gemma. Or rather, the part of her that he buried. He's seeing her every day without knowing it. Talking to her. Without remembering. This is repression at its most heartbreaking. The memory of love, now a cold, robotic stranger. And when Mark begins to sense the truth, something cracks. This is the turning point.
Your Audi is going to be...
To heal, you have to remember. You have to feel the wound, even if it breaks you again. The awakening, from dissociation to integration. Severance is not about revolution. It's about integration. The mind, trapped in denial, begins to wake up. Helly fights. Dylan rebels. Irving searches. And Mark remembers.
He's alive!
He doesn't destroy Lumon. He reconnects with himself. And that's the real escape. Grief is not something to escape. It's something to hold. Severance teaches us. Trauma doesn't disappear when you repress it. The unconscious isn't a void. It's a place filled with signals, patterns, pain, and possibility. Healing begins when you face your shadow and embrace your full self. This isn't a show about memory loss. It's about memory recovery. It's about remembering the pain you locked away and giving it a name. Severance doesn't shout its message. It whispers it like a dream. It moves through mood, rhythm, surreal space, like the unconscious itself. And in that dream, you may find yourself asking, what part of me did I bury in order to survive? And is it time to go back in and bring it home?